Hello and welcome. Welcome to my new energy reading, and this is a new series of energy readings I'm going to be doing, which is focused on how to use the changes in the sky, the energetic changes of astrology, how to use that in our business, and how to help that make our businesses work for us, to make understanding what's happening in our businesses a little bit more easier to do, and to take some of the frustration out. So that's the aim of these readings. And it's lovely to have you joining with me. So let's see. We are continuing on this great expansion period which has been happening. And it started with the super new moon on 31st of July. And you would have seen in the last video, which was for personal readings, talking about using this very much to get our message right and to be able to really articulate aspects of our business and to push that forward. I'm here to say that that's continuing on because on the 11th of August we've got Jupiter turning direct. Jupiter is a great planet for business. It's about expansion, it's about opportunity, it's about optimism, it's about growth. So it's a lovely, lovely planet to have going forward. And it's all about making what we do bigger and adding more value and volume to that, which is great. It's going to be going forward in Sagittarius, which is a fire sign. So it's going to give it an extra little bit of oomph to really push forward any ideas that we've been having. It's a great way to push those ideas forward and to push those expansion plans forward. This is the time to do that. Really, this is the time to do that. So I talked about the last couple of weeks being good times for us to get clear about messages about our business. Messages about our business, that's branding, that's new product releases, that's changing our literature, that's going out and repositioning ourselves. It's all about doing that and getting that clear. And now what we're talking about is we're moving into taking that new initiative and work in progress that we'll be thinking about, our strategies, and looking to see where we can expand that and implement things to expand our reach, our productivity, our product, wherever we're at with our business. This is a great time to look at moving and expanding that. Now, the other aspect about that is Mercury, which is the planet of communication, also moves into Leo. So we've got the Sun, we've got Venus. Now, Venus is not just about amour. Venus is also about relationships. So it's really important and great because we can start to take the initiative in establishing or redirecting relationships. And that's a fantastic time now for us to be doing that. And we should also be starting to get our energy back to do that because I think some of us have been feeling a bit tired and definitely a bit slumped. So now we should be getting a little bit more of that energy to go forward with that. So that's really, really great. So we've got the Sun in Leo, Venus in Leo, Mercury entering Leo, Mars in Leo, and Jupiter expansion going forward. So it's a great time to be expanding your business, to be looking at growth, to be feeling optimistic about that, to be putting your business forward and talking about what makes you stand out from the crowd, what makes your product the right product for that person to choose. It's a great time to be doing that. It's also a really good time to be setting up new relationships and redefining new relationships. That's you setting up and redefining new relationships because Venus is in Leo and Leo is the sign of me or I. It's all about the self and putting the self forward, and it's such a strong sign. Uranus is an interesting planet. It turns retrograde in Taurus. Taurus is about finances, it's about values, possessions, and sensuality, but mostly it's about finances and values in terms of what we value. So Uranus going into those into retrograde in Taurus means we should be on the lookout for really great insights. Uranus is called the Great Awakener. So on the lookout for really good insights about our finances, about things that we value, about the strategies and, if you like, the direction in which we're taking the business that we're in. The only thing I would also say to you about Uranus is it is a great time to progress things forward, but Uranus is not slow and steady. Uranus is sudden jolts of insight or opportunity, and it does require us to be a little bit fleet of foot, but it also requires us to be fleet of mind, fast of mind. We need to be thinking about these opportunities, how to use them, and how they set in with our business. And just think about this. A great way to use an opportunity is to give it to someone else or sell it to someone else in a partnership arrangement, so you also benefit from that. Or in a I scratch your back, you scratch my back, in a cooperative way. So that's the other way to be thinking about opportunities that come your way. So it's not linear. So you might have been thinking about restructuring a relationship with someone, an opportunity comes up, and this will be that in to how to go about restructuring that relationship and creating value for the other partner in the relationship and for you, so it's mutually beneficial. The other aspect about that is there's going to be a little bit of rebelliousness. So for some of us, and it is Uranus, right? So for some of us, those everyday tasks of the nuts and bolts of running a business, we might start seeing ourselves getting really bored with those. Now, we all know they're essential. We all know we have to do them. And sometimes we are just not in the mood. So this is when hardcore discipline, remember, business success, 98 perspiration, 2% inspiration, hardcore discipline to stick at that treadmill to get through. It's just Uranus playing with us going, oh, what are you doing that boring stuff? Get out there and do that interesting stuff. And for most of us, we are wanting to do the interesting stuff, but you cannot leave that boring, nuts and bolts, really essential cogwheel turning of your business behind. You've got to be on top of that. Uranus is going to try and distract you from that, because that is what Uranus likes to do. It likes big picture, it likes grandiose, it likes modern, new change, variation, progress in waves. That's Uranus. So look forward to having some really stimulating thinking going on, but at the same time, don't get distracted from your core business. Your core business is your core business, so keep on track of that. It's going to be a bit hard with Uranus in retrograde. You might find yourself sometimes a little bit nervous and a little bit edgy, and that's just because that Uranus energy is looking for something new. That Jupiter is about expansion, so we're wanting to grow. And also Leo is all about me, we want to push things forward. So you might find yourself feeling a little bit uneasy and a little bit distracted. Turn that energy into something positive, put up some new some new targets. I've got one hell of a cold. Some new targets, some new directions you want to go. So please take that nervous energy and plug it into your business and make it creative. All right, just a couple of things I just want to say that we need to be aware of. And that is that Leo is going to make us want to be all about I. Everybody else might also want to be about I. So rather than being a discussion where everybody is listening to each other, it could end up being quite competitive. So competitive elements can come in when my idea is better than your idea. So just be aware of that coming into your thinking. Just be aware of that coming into your language. It's not that your idea may not be great, or that your idea may not be better than someone else's. It's just with so much action in Leo and so much action in the fire planets, what we might have a tendency to do is get a little bit too fiery, a little bit too forward, and not necessarily have the stealth and, if you like, the negotiation skills to get ourselves to where we want to be. We might just be a little bit too aggressive. So just be aware that, excuse me, that's the environment that could be around. The only other thing I'd like to say about that as well, about the aggression, is that what you might find at times is that we might find that ourselves or other people are a little bit quick to anger. So our tolerances could be a little bit short. Think about it. We've got this distraction energy there. We've got a lot of fire. We've got a lot of Leo energy. The Sun, Venus, Mars, Mercury is all in Leo. So it could easily become a little bit fire-based, a little bit too focused on us. And if we do that, we might miss out on some other good ideas. So cooperation and open discussion could be difficult. It will be very worth your while to do it because everybody will feel comfortable speaking up and putting their voice forward. And that's fantastic if you need to clear the air, or you know there's a problem but no one's talking about it, or if you know that you really need someone's input to move something forward. So all of this is really positive. You just got to be really careful how you manage the egos, including your own, with the work that you're doing. That's the only thing you need to be aware of. The distractions will make you feel uneasy, and the only other thing I want you to think about is we might just be a little bit anger. And what I mean by anger is we've just had the eclipses. What that's doing is doing a bit of a deep cleanse. We're now going into Leo, we're now going into fire, and we're going into expansion. So small things can be expanded, which is brilliant, providing it's the right things that are being expanded. So just be a little bit careful about that. Okay. So that's it for us who are working in the business. Great time for expansion. Great time for meetings with people. They mightn't be the easiest meetings, but they'll be the most honest you've had for a long time. Great time for redefining and setting up new partnerships. So that's also really, really happening. Great time for strategy to be pushing that forward. Just be aware that you're going to be feeling a little bit distracted perhaps, a little bit bogged down by the everyday, a little bit bored with that, but don't take your eye off the ball. Right? Stay focused on your core business. Give yourself time to go and think and strategize and take in new opportunities. And just remember, Uranus doesn't play in a straight line. So those opportunities that are going to come in, they might be a little bit left field. That doesn't mean you can't use them, but it might mean you need to rethink and think left field about how you're going to use that opportunity. Okay, good luck. Use this energy. It's a great time to promote yourself. Okay, bye-bye, and I'll see you soon.